Hi everyone and welcome back to another episode of BS Rambles. Today I'm going to be doing another kind of different video because by now everyone probably knows that Stukov has been released and he is a support class, which is awesome because Heroes of the Storm players have been waiting for a new support class to shake up the meta for a long time now. If you aren't familiar with what Stukov's abilities are or his design, you should probably check out the Spotlight video before this one, but for good measure I'll give a quick recap of what he's about. Essentially, he's a melee support, and I'm about ready to say that he's going to be one of the strongest hero releases that they've ever had. He has Healing Pathogen, which is a heal over 4.5 seconds that spreads to nearby teammates. He has Weighted Pustule, which is a ranged skill shot that damages enemies it passes through and infects them with a slow that ramps up to 50% over 3 seconds and then detonates for more damage. And his third ability is Lurking Arm, which is a channeled AoE that does damage over time and silences. His passive ability activates his infections, consuming them and healing teammates with Healing Pathogen, and damaging enemies with Weighted Pustule and applying a 70% slow for 2 seconds. Basically, this guy has it all. Damage over time, control, a bit of burst, and his talents have the potential to make him even more ridiculous. So I want to go over the build that I would recommend, and I'm not going to go over every single talent, just the build I want to do and why I think it's going to work so well. So we'll dive right in with level 1 when I want to start with Fetid Touch. This is a quest that reduces the cooldown of Weighted Pustule by 2.5 seconds after hitting 20 heroes, and then another 2.5 seconds after hitting 40 heroes, as well as removing his mana cost. I don't want to waste too much time explaining why this is better than the other options, because you'll see later how it's going to create synergy. At level 4, I want you to take Top Off. This increases healing done by Healing Pathogen by 50% when the target is over 60% health. This is going to have a huge value because as the heal is over 4.5 seconds, you're going to want to use it at the very beginning of fights to get it spreading and ticking and topping people off so that the cooldown comes up more quickly during the fight and that you're getting the most out of the heal over time before activating Bio Kill Switch and consuming it. At level 7, Targeted Excision is what we're going to take. This talent makes it so if you detonate Weighted Pustule on one target, you will reduce the cooldown on Bio Kill Switch to 5 seconds. This is definitely the weakest talent in this build, but the other talents in this tier include range increases, which don't fit the playstyle of this build, which is going to be getting deep and dirty into the fight with your frontline, and also a cooldown reduction for Lurking Arm, which won't create any synergy with this build. Targeted Excision will allow us to get a quick burst of damage as well as slow on their enemy frontline, without punishing us too much with our cooldowns. Now at level 10 we're going to take Flailing Swipe, and this might be the best defensive ult in the game right now. It swipes 3 times in front of you over 1.75 seconds, dealing 50 damage per hit and knocking them away. And to really understand what that means, you should definitely watch the Spotlight video because it's kind of a crazy ability. It's going to clear traffic away from your squishies and stack them up in front of you for your tanks to block. I know it's hard to resist Massive Shove because that's definitely the funniest ult in the game right now, along with Stitch's ability to eat people, but at the end of the day, the Massive Shove is a channeled ability which removes one person from the fight at the cost of the channel, which is removing you from the fight as well, which just isn't that great. At level 13 is when things are going to start getting overpowered. We're going to take Reactive Ballistospores. When you drop below half health, you will apply a Weighted Pustule to all nearby enemies and reset Bioswitch. This is going to give us insane damage and a massive slow, and it's only on a 10-second cooldown, which means basically every time you're getting reduced below 50% health, you're going to get this proc. But wait, because the level 16 talent is going to synergize so well that tomorrow there's going to be a thread on Reddit asking for nerfs before Stukov even hits the public test realm. At level 16, we take Eye Infection. It increases the final damage of Weighted Pustule by 50%. Additionally, detonating Weighted Pustule blinds the target for 3 seconds. 3 seconds. So picture this. You're on your front line, slapping people with your Zerg hand, and your opponents dive you. Rightfully so, because you're the support, and you're way out front. You drop below 50% health, and right away the enemies all have Weighted Pustule applied, and Bio Kill Switch is refreshed. You hit it right away because you're getting bursted and panicking, and now all those players are blinded for 3 seconds. You might as well have Artanis drop his ult on you every time the enemy team tries to dive you. Think of all the heroes this card hard counters. Any melee dive hero is useless against this build. Thrall, Illidan, they're done. And because you've also took Targeted Excision at level 7, you're now going to be able to 1v1 those heroes as well. Finally, at level 20, we take Controlled Chaos, which makes Flailing Swipe have 3 individual single charges, which all hit the max range of that. Even the diviest of diving heroes can't keep coming after they've been sent to the maximum range 3 individual times. That is going to be so powerful for saving your teammates and creating distance between you and their frontline. The way I see a team fight playing out when you're using this build is that right before you engage, you've already got heals cooking on your entire team, taking at the extra 50% with your healing pathogen cooldown now already refreshing. Now you hit Weighted Pustule on their frontline and activate it and hit Bio Kill Switch as soon as they engage. That'll mitigate all their poke damage with your burst healing and blind their frontline. Right away, you're going to use your arm to silence their backline, which is possible because you're right out there in the front with your balls on your chin because you know you're overpowered. 3 seconds passes, and their team is frantically pinging the enemy Stukov because you've shut down literally all of their damage. You reapply heal to yourself, and it starts bouncing everywhere to all your teammates because you're in the middle of the fight. They burst you, playing themselves because now you're at 50% health, so they all get Weighted Pustule applied to them. It takes Bio Kill Switch back off cooldown, so you reactivate it, blinding them, damaging them, and slowing them all while you simultaneously give another burst heal to yourself and your team. Now your team has been damaging them for around 7 to 8 seconds, and they haven't been able to do anything yet. You still have 3 charges of Flailing Swipe available to you to hold off any remaining pick attempts they might take, and the option to silence them with Lurking Arm because it's off cooldown by now. And that's all I have for you for the build, guys. If you've seen my past videos, you know I like talent builds that give you the option to be the player that makes clutch, team fight winning plays that will enable you to take matches into your own hands and climb the ladder for yourself. Obviously, Stukov is yet to see play, and there's tons to be seen with how he's actually going to perform. Personally, I do think he's going to be one of the highest skill cap heroes in the game, but also one of the best. Please leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. I read all of them and I respond to most, and it's always encouraging to see that people are engaged. Thank you everyone for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye.